G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world. And lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists in Australia do what they do. Well, Colour in Your Life art lovers, we're in Melbourne again for this trip, and to say this is going to be an exciting show is an understatement. We've come down to talk to Luke Senior from Senior's Art Supplies and film one of the world's great master watercolour artists, Mr. Alvaro Castanet. Alvaro is in Australia at the moment as part of his World Art Teaching Tour. Luke Senior from Senior's Art Supplies in Melbourne contacted Colour in Your Life and told us of Alvaro's workshops at his Melbourne art supply stores and suggested we head down and spend the day with this amazing man. Colour in Your Life is extremely grateful to Luke and Senior's Art Supplies and also Daniel Smith Paints for making it possible to film Alvaro. Senior's Art Supplies are one of the best established art stores in Melbourne, and as you can see, they have an extensive range of just about everything you would need as an artist. From beginners to professionals, Senior's Art Stores can supply anything you may need to help you in your creative journey. Paints, canvases, brushes, easels, pencils, paper, all manner of fabulous products. Senior's has a staff of people that have an extensive background in art and also a wonderful knowledge of all of the various paints and mediums and answers to just about every question you could possibly want to know. They also have a number of workshops throughout the year with some of the leading art teachers in Australia. But today is one of those special days, so let's go and spend it with Alvaro Castanet. Well, welcome back to Colour in Your Life, guys. This is going to be a very special day. We're down in Melbourne due to I'd say the generosity and the support for this man sitting beside me, Mr. Alvaro Castanet. Alvaro, welcome to the show.
Graham, good to see you again.
It is an absolutely fantastic pleasure to have this man here. He is regarded as one of the greatest watercolour artists in the world, and to have him on our show is just spectacular. And as I was saying, it's because of the generosity and the foresight of organisations like and companies like Daniel Smith that makes some of the best watercolours in the world, and also Luke Senior from Senior Art Supplies in Melbourne. Luke literally saw what Colour in Your Life was doing and just said, look, we really want to be part of this and we would like Alvaro to be part of what we're doing as well. From Uruguay.
Absolutely.
Montevideo. Is that right? I've been trying to get that all day.
Good, but, you got a lovely accent.
Yeah, I'm trying to anyway. But Alvaro is out here from Uruguay and he travels the world literally teaching people all over the planet. Now, I've just got a list here of the places that he's going, and this will give you an idea who this gentleman actually is. He's off to Bathurst. Now, you're obviously doing workshops at Senior's Art Supplies.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's off to the Bathurst Summer Festival as well in Australia. Now, Victoria in Canada, you go to as well. San Francisco in USA. This is the 2014 schedule. Florence, Italy, Amsterdam, Netherlands, Yorkshire and Derbyshire in England, Scotland and Germany. When do you get time to paint?
Well, actually, it's funny because nobody knows this, but I'm flying a Jumbo on my own.
Is that right?
Mark II.
So we'll get there. But with the calibre of a man like Alvaro, and obviously his influence in the art world, he also comes along with an amazing selection of his own brushes, and you can get a lot of these at obviously Senior's Art Supplies as well. But he's got books out, your own palettes as well. He actually produces these small pads, obviously for artists that are on the move, that have various watercolour papers inside them for watercolours. So it's just amazing. And then these other books here as well. So, and he's got DVDs and he's got videos. You can get downloads. I mean, obviously, at the stage that you are now in your career with some of the great awards, plus the fact that you go to Asia, you judge exhibitions all throughout the world as well. It is literally a fantastic career. So we're very privileged to have him here today. But let's start on this painting and show these people Paris. Is that where we're going?
Paris. We're going to Paris.
Paris in the springtime. Beautiful.
Well, the first thing that I do is I stretch the paper out. I use my tape. Make sure that I press it down so it's sticking on the paper, and also part of it on my board, of course. Thanks a lot for that. I go always like this, and I get my pencil, which is a number 6B, soft lead. And as I said to you before, I'm going to do a rainy day in Paris. So obviously the first thing that goes is the drawing and the composition. So I'm dividing the paper in 2/3. The street level we put in the upper, kind of near the upper side of the paper, around there, because I want lots of room for the washes and to show, because of the use of washes, the wet road, you know what I mean, which is in my painting here, is probably the heart and soul of the painting. So I start doing the drawing.
And a lot of this for you is obviously because you've done it so much is in your head.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do that painting, Graham.
Okay.
And so this is our reference, and I will deliver a process of doing this watercolor painting and ending up with this masterpiece.
Beautiful, and it is too.
Do you like it, Graham?
It's sensational. It
Okay.
really is. Okay, 6B pencil.
So 6B,
Yeah.
and we go like this, and I follow the perspective of the French building. What I'm interested in this situation is just shapes. Watercolor and painting altogether is always a conglomeration, let's say, of shapes of colors. So that's all it is. So I do the drawing of the French from public lighting, from Paris.
Yes, yes.
Can you see what's going on, Graham?
Yes. It's a bit like
Okay.
the old gas lights they used to have.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
you got it right.
Yeah.
So, well, there you are. This is the Parisian public lighting.
Yes.
And then I start just suggesting some of the umbrellas. The point is, I'm very confident coming with brushwork, brush strokes. The brush strokes will pull the foreground together, and in particular the people that I do the drawing like this, very casual. And can you see this, Graham? I make a bit of a mess here.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm concerned is the length of the figure.
Okay.
The figure has to have, they can be a little overweight people, can be slimmer people, but they have to have a pleasant relationship head versus the length of the body, you know what I mean? So I put a bunch of people there, and I put one that is kind of coming to the group, let's say, a little bit isolated, so maybe with an umbrella as well. See how I go. And obviously he's casting shadows, not shadows, reflections,
Yes.
on a wet road towards us. So that beautiful big building of Paris, because we are in Boulevard La Opera, that painting here. I am from the opera facing down the road on the Boulevard La Opera. So this boulevard in Paris, as you've probably been traveling a bit too as well, and many of you maybe know Paris very well. Have you been in Paris?
Yes,
You?
yes, a few times. Beautiful, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a gorgeous city. So this beautiful building, as I said, of Paris is casting reflections here. There is no street scene without cars, so we need to put a few cars. Maybe, why not, to break that monotony of the cars here, we put another guy that is a kamikaze, because in sometimes we get people who walk across the street on a red light, you know. Do you know those people?
Yes, I do.
Okay. He's a kamikaze kind of guy.
They'd see it. I mean, and you virtually didn't take that pencil off that page when you were doing that.
No, because this is a soft lead pencil, and I don't like hard lead pencil like HB, 2B. Or even 4B is suitable for myself when I come to drawing, but 6B is the best because I use quite a bit of water and also quite a bit of pigment. They tend to disappear. When I have the finished painting done, you hardly see any mark of lead.
Okay. Just disappears into it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So ready to go.
Okay.
Well, the first thing I do is I put the undercoats. You know, this step is an easy one. It's just placing colors on the paper. And even though I'm painting a rainy day, I'm going to start using warm hues. And one of my first colors to use is actually yellow ochre. I have to tell you that all my washes, when I put them on the paper, they look stronger than you think, or that they look stronger than the final result. And the problem is that you got to understand that I'm using lots of obviously pigment, but also water, so the degree of moisture on the paper creates the feel of intensity. But once the water evaporates and I put all the other darks washes around them, then all this will look almost white. And for instance, I'm coming to paint the building of Paris, okay? It has a silvery looking hue. See that, Graham? If I use, to be controversial with the hue, you know what I mean? If I use a little bit of pink as an undercoat, because this step is very easy. It's just placing colors on the paper. So if I use a little bit of pink, when I come with the blues, the interaction of both of them enhances the blue. You see what I mean? The only thing is, you have to go, let's say in mathematical terms, maybe 1/3 pink and then 2/3 blue. You see what I mean? But the pink, it will affect the look of the blue. Okay. So I'm using a little bit of alizarin and crimson. I can't make it too strong. It has to be just a glaze of crimson. Hopefully this crimson, it will make the blues coming afterwards when the paper dries off into a better looking one, into a glowing one. So I go into a neutral tint now. This is not the final wash for the building. I just want to paint the dome of the French buildings here wet on wet, because I like the look of it wet on wet with the sky, you see what I mean? But yes. I'm not planning to do the finished shape of the building. This is an undercoat. Once I'm happy with the dome, I just erase that and I paint nothing else. That upper section of the painting is finished, and then quickly, there are some, as you can see on the painting here, there are some people with orange umbrellas. So what I do is I put a little bit of, these colors, Daniel Smith, they are second to none. When it comes to reds, I tell you, they are they have a glorious tint, a hue, and also they are very powerful. So you don't need to pick up, they are soft, ready to be picked up at any given time. So I put a little bit of wash of red. So I do that, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting rid of the pigmentation here, and I get once again, you have to echo the hue from up above, and I get yellow ochre. All of a sudden, I raise my voice, and I don't know why, and why I raise my voice. Do you have that problem, Graham?
No, not with a voice like mine. So.
Well, I have that. Sometimes I love to raise my voice, but. Anyhow, look, we are using yellow ochre here, and slowly but surely, as I am coming downhill, you know, but you got to realize that it looks stronger is because it's all wet.
Yes.
And because it's all wet, and I obviously also carry on more pigment. By the way, the brush that I'm using, and the most suitable brush for this type of painting is a number 10, the one that I use, the one that I designed for myself. which is a number 10 squirrel, and this is one that I'm using most of the time, 90% of the time. Then when I come into the pulling the painting together and all that, I will be using a smaller size, but this is my number 10, terrific brush for this size. And why? Because I can use the side of the brush and simultaneously I can use the point of the brush. Plus also because this is organic hair, like the squirrel is, it sucks lots of liquid and maintaining the hair, you see what I mean? So, I've got to be careful with the washes and the color scheme of the painting, plus also lots of negative and positive shapes. I usually go to the same pool of blending, you know, I don't go to many different corners of the palette, because what am I doing? I'm picking up the leftovers from previous painting. Anyhow, I'm coming to the buildings now, into the main building before I tackle the focal point.
Yes.
In order to get a little bit of light on the building, we need to go stronger on the bottom, meaning more pigment, less water, and as we go up, we load our brush with less pigment and more water. We are cruising along, nice and easy. Now, what I have to do now is painting the reflection from the main building here onto the foreground, and that's going to be done wet on wet. It's going to be a little stronger where the cars are, and then I cool it down and I make it lighter in value as I'm coming towards the very foreground on the right hand side. So this section still remains wet, so what I'm going to do is I pick up from the tube Pyrrole Orange, Daniel Smith, which is a great orange, and I put the brake lights from the car, I mean, indicating that the cars are going that way, and some reflections, the orange or red light from the brakes. So I put those red dots there, and then I move into the left hand side. You've got to realize that if the right hand side is wet on wet, and just a shade wet on wet, then the left hand side, what's supposed to be my focal point, has to be done on dry to contradict those wet on wet washes. So that's why I overemphasize the dry brush strokes on the legs and figure, reflecting on the wet pavement, so we counterpart the wet on wet wash that happens on the right hand side of the painting. So it's all opposite, it's yin and yang, always looking and searching for the opposition to create dynamics. So lots of dry brush strokes on the figures. I put lots of color with very little water in it. I use a little bit of yellow ochre and a bit of leftover from oranges and red hues on my palette, hanging on my palette. Then again, lots of dry brush strokes, lots of intensity in the strokes with pigment, and touch and go, a la prima. Have a look. What I'm doing now is the wash is dry. I dry it off, so I put a little bit of water where the lamp's supposed to go before that wash. The water dries off. I go quickly, ping, 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 you see, and I recover. I'm not saying that you recover the white paper, but you recover quite a bit of the white paper.
Okay.
So, Graham, after this demo, you can go and paint watercolor. You will be making you one of the best watercolor painter ever.
Thanks, mate.
You agree with that?
Absolutely. That's beautiful, mate. But it's all those little subtle techniques that people just don't. I'm quite sure there'll be a lot of people out there going around those light posts instead of doing the wash.
It's very hard work.
Yeah, I mean, look at that, and then it just gets snapped.
And it's a waste of time, because you never sacrifice the good looks of a wash because there is an item along the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The wash is your priority.
Yes.
A little bit of neutral, the leftovers. You see, the leftovers were here, hanging on my palette here. I make sure that I have no water, or just a little bit of water on my brush. And you see, I'm going for dry brush strokes. These dry brush strokes are good because enhances the feel of depth into the painting. You know what I mean? But I'm not getting bogged down in things that are not necessary for my painting, you know what I mean? Not important things.
Yes.
And I play by ear, as we say, because I'm not looking at any reference at all. My main concern is to follow with the perspective, and, as I said, give to this section of my painting a very look of something three-dimensional. And the other thing is, a couple of things happens. you don't want to make that area too decorative and whatever, because it then starts conflicting to the focal point. This is my focal point. That part of my painting is pushed away. To finish the painting, do you remember that I said to you there was a guy walking a kamikaze? Do you remember that I make a reference to a kamikaze guy? Well, here we go, and I forgot to do it beforehand, but doesn't matter. But let me tell you, this is the kamikaze guy, which is like a kind of a ghost appearing on the right-hand side, walking the street with a red light and a wet road. Imagine, with all the traffic in Paris. Anyhow, I didn't pay much attention to him as far as making it perfect. It's just a shape of color. That's all it is, a shape of color. But that guy here entertained that corner of the painting, that side of the painting, that it doesn't mean that it has to be competing to the focal point. So that's one thing that, as I said to you, it's just a shape. I don't have any intention of making it vivid, clear, sharp, and beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this painting has reached the very end of it. Now, to show you, I'm gonna peel the tape off, and all of a sudden, I don't know why, but it's something that is a kind of an energy suddenly invited my being. I need to shout, and I don't know why, but look, I'm peeling the tape off, and you'll see that a new discovery. You will see that a masterpiece like this one emerges in front of your very eye, in front of your very eyes. This is a masterpiece, and I had a great time doing it. Let me tell you, one primordial thing when you guys paint is actually to have fun. You have fun, paint it for yourself, paint for self-indulgence.
All right, well, that was absolutely amazing. A master teacher, a master artist, and the way you put that together is extraordinary, mate. Really is.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the
Graham,
show.
a pleasure being here.
Oh, just to watch a man like this, and this is the reason he travels the world doing what he does, is just an amazing privilege for all of us to be here. Obviously, we have to thank Daniel Smith, the paints that Alvaro uses, which are quite exceptional, and particularly Luke Senior. As I said, Luke's got the foresight to be able to get people like Alvaro into the country to be able to do these workshops. Just great stuff. You can also come into our website as well, colouronylife.com.au, and see a lot of the work. I mean, I really hope to get some of Alvaro's work in there one day, which would be pretty cool. But your website as well. Now, if anybody wants to buy the amazing products that Alvaro has out on the market, you can obviously come to Senior Art Supplies in Melbourne. But if they need to get your stuff, they can go to alvarocastanet.net.
There you are.
So, and as I said, Alvaro's all over the world. I mean, there's literally art stores all over the world that sell this stuff. But great stuff, bud. Really appreciate it. We're going to head off again. But as I always say, I mean, literally, you got to say, you really need to put some Alvaro Castanet in your life, because that was pretty amazing. But remember, make sure you put some colour in your life, and we'll see you next time, guys. All the best now. Bye now.
All the best. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.